There we go. First step is to move C term to other side. So we don't want that C term to be there. So the opposite of minus 38 is to add 38. We're going to do that to both sides there. Now I have p squared plus 14p equals positive 38. Now I want to complete the square here with this one. So p squared plus 14p. We want to add our own c term in there to complete the square. We do that by taking the b term, dividing it by 2, and squaring it. That tells me what number I need to add there. So 14 divided by 2 is 7, and 7 squared is 49. So I'm going to add 49. What you do to one side, you should do to the other. Okay, so now I have 38 plus 49, which gives me, what is that? 87. So I'm going to have, this makes 87 right here. Okay, now we're going to factor this perfect square trinomial. So that factors to be p plus 7 squared, because 7 times 7 is 49 and 7 plus 7 is 14. So it's p plus 7 times p plus 7, or we can write it p plus 7 squared equals 87. Now we have only 2 more steps here. To undo the square, we're going to square root both sides. That cancels the square. So now I have p plus 7 equals the square root of 87. So you're going to need a calculator for this because that is not a perfect square. So if I punch in the square root of 87 in my calculator, I'm going to get about 9.3 rounded. So I'm going to say plus or minus 9.3 because it can be positive or negative 9.3. And the only thing I have to do is subtract 7 from both sides. So that gives me p equals, so I have positive 9.3 minus 7, which is 2.3. I should say approximately here too. Approximately 2.3, and negative 9.3 minus 7, which is negative 16.3. There you go. That's the first one there. Okay. Can you turn your microphone on? Yes or no? Type yes or no. If you're able to turn your microphone on, you're the only one that's in here. Okay. No problem. So you're talking about b squared minus 4ac, and then so you're solving it by the quadratic formula. You're talking about the quadratic formula. That is another way to solve a quadratic, but for this one, we're solving them by a specific way, which is completing the square. Does that make sense? Okay, so yeah, so you're right, you can solve it that way, but that's called the quadratic formula. That's not what we're doing on this one. That is coming though. That'll probably be like next week or maybe even the week after though. Okay, good question. Did that first one make sense how we did that one? Okay, great. So here, let's keep going and doing a couple more here. So let's go to number 2. I'm going to erase a lot of this stuff so I have space to work, okay? So let me erase that. Let's see here. Oh, I can just erase this. That should be fine. Okay, so number 2 right here. So let's follow those same exact steps. Just like last time, if you had a question, go ahead and chat it out to me and then I can answer it, okay? So first thing we want to do is get rid of the c term. So I'm going to add 59 to both sides. And then that gives me v squared plus 6v plus, now I'm going to write plus blank because remember, we're going to add in our own c term there. So I'm just going to put a blank spot. Equals 0 plus 59 is just 59. Now we're going to complete the square. So just like last time, how do we do that? We're going to take the b term, we're going to divide it by 2, and then we're going to square it. And that's going to tell us what to add there. So 6 divided by 2 is 3, and then 3 squared, that just means 3 times 3, that is 9. So I'm going to add 9 to both sides there. So when I factor this, okay, it's going to be v plus 3 squared, or v plus 3 times v plus 3, because 3 times 3 is 9 and 3 plus 3 is 6. So v plus 3 squared, 59 plus 9 is 68. now let me switch pen colors here. We're going to square root both sides, and that's going to cancel that square. Now I'm left with v plus 3 equals, the square root of 68 is not a perfect square. So again, I'm going to square root that in your calculator, and you should be getting 8.2. So I'm going to say plus or minus 8.2. And then one more step, just subtract that 3 from both sides. And then I'm going to have my two answers. V is approximately, so positive 8.2 minus 3 is 5.2. And negative 8.2 minus 3 is negative 11.2. And those are your two solutions. Okay, perfect. You get it. So yeah, I'm gonna do probably 6 total. So you can, if you want to do it with me, the next 6 you can. If not, you can leave. It's completely up to you whenever you want. But I'm gonna keep going. Okay, let me know if you have any more questions. Number 3, same thing. So I'm gonna start by getting rid of the c term, adding 51 to both sides. So now I have a squared, and then we're gonna have plus 14a. Okay, sounds good. Have a nice day. Plus 14a equals 51. And then we're going to add in our own c term. So we're going to do that by taking half of the b term and squaring it. 14 divided, well, this is just like number 1. 14 divided by 2 is 7. 7 squared is 49. So I'm going to add 49 to both sides. 14a plus 49 equals, and then make sure you add 49 to this sides too. Okay, so 51 plus 49 is 100. Okay, and then that is now, this is a perfect square trinomial, which is going to be a plus 7 squared. A plus 7 times a plus 7. 7 times 7 is 49, and 7 plus 7 is 14. All right, equals 100. And then we're going to square root both sides. That cancels the square. And now I have a plus 7 equals plus or minus. That's a perfect square. The square root of 100 is 10. So plus or minus 10. And then all we do is minus 7, both sides. And then we have a is equal to positive 10 minus 7 is 3. Negative 10 minus 7 is negative 17. And there's your two solutions. All right, moving on to number 4. Same thing. Let's get rid of that c term first. So we're going to subtract 11 from both sides. Now I have x squared minus 12x. I'm going to write plus blank because I know I'm going to add something there. 0 minus 11 is negative 11. All right, let's figure out what we're going to do to both sides here. So we're going to take b divided by 2 and square it. 12 divided by 2 is 6. 6 squared is 36. So we're going to add 36 to both sides. And this is going to factor to be x minus 6 times x minus 6, or x minus 6 squared, because negative 6 times negative 6 is 36, and negative 6 add negative 6 is negative 12. Equals, and then negative 11 over here, negative 11 add 36 is positive 25. Okay, now we're just need to complete a couple steps here. We're going to square root both sides to eliminate that, and that gives me x minus 6 equals plus or minus 5. Square root of 25 is plus or minus 5. And all we got to do is add 6 to both sides. So we have exact answers here. X equals, let's see, positive 5 plus 6 is 11, and negative 5 add 6 is 1. So there's your two solutions, 11 and 1. Okay, on to number 5. We'll do 2 more. We'll do 5 and 6, and then you can do the other half. All right, so we're gonna get rid of that c term, subtract 8, both sides. So x squared plus 6x. I'm gonna leave a blank because I'm gonna add in my own c term, and 0 minus 8 is negative 8. All right, let's add in, so we're gonna take b divided by 2 and square it. So 6 divided by 2 squared is 9. So I'm gonna be adding 9 to both sides. So this factors to be x plus 3 times x plus 3, or x plus 3 squared, equals, that's positive 1, negative 8 add 9. Okay, just a couple more steps here. So we're going to square root both sides. So x plus 3 equals the square root of 1. That's a perfect square. So we're going to say plus or minus 1. And then we're just going to subtract 3 from both sides. two exact solutions. So positive 1 minus 3 is negative 2, and negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. There you go. On to the last one for this tutoring. Number 6, let's get rid of the c term. Always needs to be on the other side, so we'll do that. Now I have n squared minus 2n plus, I'm going to leave a blank spot there, equals 0 plus 3 is 3. All right. Now, what am I going to add there? I'm going to take b and divide it by 2 and square it. So negative 2 divided by 2 squared. So negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. So we're going to be adding 1 to both sides. This factors to be n minus 1 times n minus 1, or n minus 1 squared. 3 plus 1 is 4. And now I'm going to square root both sides to cancel that. So now I have n minus 1 equals square root of 4 is plus or minus 2. And then I just need to add 1 to both sides. And n equals positive 2 plus 1 is 3. Negative 2 plus 1 is negative 1. And there's your two solutions. All right, so you guys can finish up the rest on your own. Hopefully that gives you a better understanding, and that really helps you with solving quadratics by completing the square. And that's it for today, you guys. I hope you guys are having a good day. Please let me know if you guys have any questions or whatnot, okay? Talk to you guys soon.